Board members, we need to get started. If I can get you to take your seats, maybe. Okay, I think are we short a few? Okay, we're back in business. Coming out of our executive session, we have some motions to be made. First of all, according to our agenda, we have appointments on motion to appoint Utah Instructional Materials Commission members. Let me make sure I get everything caught up here. Board Member Belknap.
Yes, for the Utah Instructional Materials Commission, I recommend Heather Stein and Shelley Giddings and Aaron Crawford and Susan Hera.
Do we have a second? Second. Do we have discussion to the motion to approve? Seeing none, let's vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Okay, voting was unanimous. Next is motion to appoint Student Advisory Council members. Board Member Belknap.
Thank you, Chair. For the Utah State Board of Education Student Advisory Council nominees, for District 1, Rachel Dickwa. Do I say their school? Or is that good enough? Do you want me to keep going, Chair?
Yes.
Okay, District 2, Natalie Quinn. District 3, Thane Lee. District 4, Mackenzie Leininger. District 5, Max Eiding. District 6, Riley Taylor. District 7, Daniel Bernhard. District 8, Alexandria Hong. District 9, Trayton Shumway. District 10, Sanja Karji. District 11, Ali Cordero. District 12, Aspen Meldrum. District 13, Brendan Murphy. District 14, Maisie Talbot. District 15, Gracia Allen. And as our student, what's she called? Our student advisor, we'd like to nominate Kate DeGroot.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Discussion to the motion? Okay, seeing Board Member Joe Wright.
I mean, if they confirm them, then fine. I'm not going to contest it. But if we don't, if we vote against it, then I'll make a motion that we just don't move forward with this and leave it to the next round of state school board to decide if we proceed with this. I'm afraid this could become a major distraction and take time from our staff and our board that we just don't have. And it's not worth the added value.
Board Member Hanson.
I would like to thank all who applied. We had some amazing, amazing applicants, and it was very, very, very difficult to decide. These kids are going to change the world, and I think they're going to do great things in advising us as members of the board. So thank you to all who applied.
Okay, I'm not seeing any other discussion to the motion. If it's okay with our board, I won't restate the motion with all of the names. I think we have our checklists and that, so I'll call this to a vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? No. Okay. Is anyone online that wants to be recognized as an aye?
I'm an aye.
Okay, that's Elisa? Or
Yes.
Vice Chair Ellis? Okay, so the motion passes and we have the one no. Okay. Moving on. UPAC cases.
Thank you, Chair. In case number 18-17, I recommend to deny application for a license.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion to the motion. Board Member Lear.
I think that this has been discussed by a hearing panel for many hours, and to take a different action right now, especially without hearing from the individual, is really unfair and inappropriate. And so if this passes, I will make a motion that we should hear from the individual, give him the opportunity to talk to the board and explain some of the questions that board members have had. So I will be voting against the motion, but should it pass, I think we should at least be willing to hear from the individual, let him confront those who are denying him something that he's worked for a number of years and spent a lot of money on.
Okay, I'm not seeing any other discussion, so the motion before the board is in regarding case number 18-17, that we deny the application. I'll call this to a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
No.
Will the noes? Okay, will the ayes raise their hand? So we have Board Member Warner, Hanson, Belknap, Wright, Bolter, Cannon, Board Member Lisa Cummins, Vice Chair Brittany Cummins. Vice Chair Ellis, are you voting on this?
No, because I wasn't in executive session for the discussion.
Okay. That's 8 votes, motion carries.
So did you vote aye?
What's that?
Did you vote?
He didn't have to.
I'm an aye, but I don't have to vote, but it takes 8, but yeah.
Oops, I hit my-
Okay, okay, Board Member Lear.
I have a motion that I'd like to make. I'd like to move that this individual be invited or allowed to come in and talk to the board for a set amount of time and present his information, his discussion of why he should be allowed to be licensed before the board at as soon as possible, the December meeting or the January meeting.
So if I understand your motion, that is to invite the individual that's part of that case, that the applicant on case number 1817 to come to the board, which will be in an executive session in December or January. Is that your motion?
That's right, thank you.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Can I speak to my motion?
You can speak to your motion.
I just think this is the fair, civil, open-minded, decent thing to do. If another committee has heard from this gentleman for 6 hours, at least in a hearing, and approved his application, then I think the board should be willing, before saying categorically no, to hear from him and let him express his desire to be a teacher to us and ask to have questions answered, and at least address it in a fair forum with the individual.
Okay. Board Member Cannon?
I voted in favor of denying this license, but I am going to vote in favor of Carol's motion because I think, as a board, it would be a good idea for us to give him a chance to be heard before the board. And if I read through that correctly, it seems to me like there were only 2 people on the panel that vetted him, and this way he would have a panel of 15 people at least to hear from him, and I think we'd all feel better about it if we took the time to do that. So I will vote in favor of Carol's motion.
Board Member Reby?
I'm also going to vote in favor of Carol's motion. As an educator, we're all about second chances. We're all about betterment. And I don't think this is a vote to give him that license, but it is a vote to understand where he needs to go, what he needs to do. And as a teacher, I'm always trying to figure out how we can bring people back into the fold of being productive, successful citizens. So that's why I'm voting in favor of this motion.
Okay. Board Member Lisa Cummins?
Just remind the board that we might be setting precedents here, and if we invite one, then everybody might be taking our time to hear their case, and that's not what our job is.
Okay. Board Member Lear, are you adding
Sorry.
to your motion, or are you creating a debate?
I just wanted to make a final comment, and I feel like our exact job is to be role models for what's fair and what's right to young people as well as to others, and I think that in my mind, this is a matter of fairness and due process in order to have an opportunity to be heard by those who are denying a person something that he is expected to be able to have.
Board Member Warner?
I too am all about giving people second chances, but I'm going to just put it on the record that this is a person who has had a post certification, a law enforcement certification revoked. I do not feel comfortable at all taking somebody, even if he's made some changes in his life, coming into a classroom when he cannot patrol the streets as a law enforcement officer. I'm really troubled by that we would ever consider that. And Carol, I understand what you're saying, but we've already had a board deny him one license. I'm not sure we want to take him and put him in with our most vulnerable children and have him opened up to that liability as well. So I will be voting against it.
Okay, I'd like to remind the board members to, a couple things, a couple times we strayed in probably going a little bit too far on descriptive in describing or focusing on who and what the individual is in case number 1817. So I think let's make sure we have our guardrails up on in respect for this applicant at on this. So I just want to restate the motion. I'm not calling everybody out, but I think we're getting kind of close. The motion is that the board invite the applicant for case number 18-17 to address the board in executive session either in December or January regarding their application. So let's take that to a vote. I'll restate it now again before we vote. Just to be clear on Robert's rules, that the motion is that we invite the applicant of case number 18-17 to come and address the board in executive session in December and January. Okay, we're going to take this to a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
No.
Will the ayes raise your hand and be noticed? We have Board Member Gravitt, Board Member Lear, Board Member Reby, Board Member Cannon, that's 4. Vice Chair Brittany Cummins is 5. Anyone on the phone voting? Okay, the motion doesn't carry.
You ready,
Okay,
Chair?
Case number 17-1452.
In case number 17-1452, I recommend that we accept the UPAC recommendation.
We have a motion on case number 17-1452 to recommend UPAC's, to accept UPAC's recommendations. Do we have a second? Second. Any discussion to the motion? Seeing none, let's vote. All in favor say aye. Those opposed? Voting was unanimous.
In case number 17-1430, make a motion to accept the UPAC's recommendation.
Okay, the motion before the board is to accept UPAC's recommendation on case number 17-1430. 1430, I should say. Any discussion to that motion? Seeing none, let's vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Voting was unanimous.
Okay, in case number 17-1461, motion to accept UPAC's recommendation.
Okay, motion before the board is that do we have a second? Sorry. So the motion before the board is that we accept UPAC's recommendations on case number 17-1461. Any discussion to that motion? Seeing none, let's vote. All in favor, say aye. Please continue.
Any opposed? Were there?
Oh, any opposed?
Sorry, Chair.
Thank you. Keep me going. Any opposed? Voting was unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you. Case number 18-1468, I make a motion to accept UPAC recommendation.
Do we have a second? Second. Motion before the board is to accept on case number 18-1468 UPAC recommendations. Any discussion to the motion? Seeing none, let's vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Voting was unanimous.
Case number 18-1478, make a motion to accept the UPAC recommendation.
Motion and a second. The motion before the board is that the board, on case number 18-1478, accept UPAC recommendations. Is there any discussion to the motion? Seeing none, let's vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Voting was unanimous.
Thank you. Case number 18-1527, I make a motion that we accept the UPAC recommendation.
We have a motion and a second. Motion before the board is that on case number 18-1527, that we accept UPAC recommendations. Any discussion to the motion? Seeing none, let's vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Voting was unanimous.
Okay, on the UPAC consent calendar, I make a motion to accept the UPAC consent calendar.
Okay, the motion before the board, do we have a second? Second. The motion before the board is that we accept UPAC consent calendar.
Both of these.
Any discussion to the motion? Seeing none, let's vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Voting was unanimous. That concludes our action from executive session.